He needs to make a change, I think. I would love to see the rematch. I think in the rematch, if he comes back with the hunger that he needs, he could beat Crawford. Because Crawford, is very talented, but I think Canelo could beat him. Canelo's strong, man. Canelo's strong. Canelo could take a good punch. So I think he could just go and don't respect his punch and throw punches even though you're gonna get hit. But don't give up. Keep going until you hit it.
Canelo Alvarez has finally broken his silence. And he's making one thing absolutely clear. He's not going anywhere until he gets his revenge. After months of rumors and a major surgery, Canelo went on national TV and called for a Crawford rematch in 2026, saying he feels strong, healed, and done with excuses. This isn't about belts or money anymore. It's pure pride, and Canelo is willing to risk his entire legacy to prove the first fight was a fluke. When he finally resurfaced for an exclusive interview with TV Azteca on Los Protagonistas, he didn't look broken or discouraged. He looked calm, focused, and hungry. And the moment the rematch was mentioned, he stared straight into the camera and confirmed exactly what his fans have been waiting to hear.
Y antes de que finalice el 2025, Saúl El Canelo Álvarez estuvo de visita en TV Azteca en su casa y habló de los planes que vienen para el próximo año, donde incursionará en diferentes proyectos deportivos. Además, reiteró que su prioridad arriba del ring es la revancha en contra de Terence Crawford, misma que ya se está negociando, misma que quiere a como dé lugar.
You translate Canelo's Spanish comments directly. He kept it simple and powerful. If we do it again, it would be great. Let's go again. I accept it. It's not a demand, just a clear acceptance of the challenge, followed by, I feel strong. I give him all the credit. A major shift in tone that shows how focused he is on one mission, avenging the only loss that made him look human. With a return targeted for mid-2026, he doesn't care about contenders or reclaimed belts. He wants Crawford and only Crawford. But this sudden confidence feels strange when you remember what happened right after the first fight. When, standing in the ring at Allegiant Stadium right after losing a unanimous decision, Canelo admitted, "My body doesn't respond anymore. I try, but my body just doesn't let me." Leaving fans wondering how someone who sounded broken that night is now all in on a revenge mission.
You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just not let me go. And you need to accept it.
2 months after sounding like he was retiring, Canelo Alvarez has flipped the narrative completely. After the fight, he looked slow, hesitant, and admitted his body wasn't responding, but secretly, he underwent elbow surgery. His camp is now claiming that was the reason for his poor performance. Whether it's legit or just a PR move to protect his ego, Canelo is selling fans a vision of a strong, dangerous fighter returning for revenge. But critics are already asking if fixing an elbow is enough to close the gap. Crawford exposed that night.
Probably 100%. There's never been a fight where Canelo, we could say Canelo's jab is the best out there, and he connects it so many times. So active with that jab. I totally agree, especially when he's fighting a left-hander. I don't think there's any excuses there. I think Crawford was much better, and we'll do the same in a rematch if it happens, even if he's healthy 100%. A lot of fighters, most of the time when they fight, there's a lot of injuries. There's a lot of problems during camp. There's fighters that fight with different injuries and stuff like that. At this point, I really believe what Paulie's saying. Maybe a rematch is coming, and they're using this to have an excuse to say that the rematch is going to be much better. I could see it that way, because there is a lot of money involved, and the rematch would be huge. But especially when now people are believing that he was injured, so he couldn't throw that jab. Canelo never throws that jab that much anyway. So I really believe that I'm with Paulie.
What makes Canelo's comeback even more shocking is the contract situation. There was no rematch clause in the original September fight, so he has no guaranteed right to face Crawford again. He's walking back into the fire voluntarily. Most fighters in his position, wealthy, accomplished, Coming off a loss would take an easy tune-up fight to regain confidence. But Canelo is doing the opposite, skipping the easy path to challenge the most dangerous technician in boxing. It's a move fueled by desperate pride. He knows his legacy currently ends on a low note, and he's willing to risk humiliation just to erase that memory.
The movement or his speed or power or what, was there something you could put your finger on that gave you the most trouble?
Everything.
Okay.
He have everything.
And just one more, Canelo, it has been, I can't even know the number of years it's been since you've been without a world title. Even after you lost to Dimitri Bivol, you still were the super middleweight champion. It's been probably 10 years or whatever since you haven't had a title. Has it sunk in yet that for the first time in all that time, you're not a world champion?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Just that it's been so many years since you have not been a world champion. And so has it sunk in yet that for the first time in forever, you're not a world champion?
No, I feel a champion, no matter what. You know, I win no matter what, and I still feel a champion. So it is what it is. You need to take the loss and accept everything. But
Desire alone won't make this fight happen because the financial reality has shifted dramatically. For a decade, Canelo Alvarez controlled every detail: ring size, gloves, venue, money, but that era is over. Terence Crawford now holds the undisputed super middleweight titles and the leverage, agreeing to a rematch only on his terms, a weight limit, a purse split that puts Canelo in the B-side, and reportedly a guaranteed $100 million for Crawford alone. To put that in perspective, in the first fight, Canelo made $150 million while Crawford earned $50 million. Crawford is essentially saying, "I'm the king now. If you want a shot, you pay the king's ransom," forcing Canelo to swallow humble pie. With no US promoter able to handle that number, the only way this fight moves forward might be the Saudi lifeline. Someone willing to cut a $100 million check without blinking.
Dangerous to Canelo's legacy to lose to the best of this era and the best of the era previously? I don't know. Like, did Canelo ever have an era where he was the best in the world? Maybe that's the question he's still trying to answer himself, and why he would want this rematch with Crawford. But when I see this news coming out of him wanting the rematch, having the elbow surgery, maybe in his mind going, okay, my elbow wasn't fresh, I wasn't able to turn my shots over, so that's why I can win this rematch. I like the competitive nature of it. I don't like the fight for him. I think the matchup's all wrong for Canelo. I think this style of fight, in terms of what Terence Crawford does well, is counterpunching off the front and back foot, his ability to go from range with his jab, be inside with it too, protect himself, catch counter with punches. He's got just a different timing that Canelo really has on his punches, and then you pair it with the volume that Terence Crawford can throw, and his feet and his angles. This is the bad matchup for Canelo. We've seen it already, and I just don't know if the rematch goes any differently. I think Terence Crawford would have Canelo in real trouble the second time around. And again, I'm not going to sit here and be like, he'd knock him out cold, because Canelo's got an iron chin, but if he didn't already in the first fight, he would do a number. Texas Instruments 83 plus on Canelo if they rematch. I truly believe that, because I think the matchup's all wrong. I think that both guys learned something about the other in that fight, and the guy that took more away as far as data and things to use was Terence Crawford, because what Canelo brought was the best version of him, and it wasn't enough. And if Terence brought the best version of him and it was enough, because I think both guys brought their best version, but the fight played out how the styles will always match up. Canelo is best when a guy will stand in front of him and go upper body movement, planted feet, let's fight exclusively in the phone book. Terence Crawford is at his best when he can dog walk someone, walk the dog on them literally, have them on a leash, walking around the ring, and then plant his feet, throwing, circling, feinting off the back foot, then coming back, counter punches. He has every tool in the shed, and I think skill.
Canelo still has fights left on his contract with the Saudi advisor, and reports say Alalshik is key to making this rematch happen. He's the only person who could look at Crawford's $100 million demand and actually say yes. Without Saudi backing, Canelo's dream of revenge dies immediately, because the fate of this 2026 showdown doesn't rest in Las Vegas or Mexico City. It all comes down to whether the money men in Riyadh think watching Canelo try again is worth $250 million in total purses.
2,400 comments, and it's going viral that they're gonna fight May 2nd, Cinco de Mayo weekend, and that's not gonna happen for multiple reasons. For one, Canelo Alvarez expressed and explained he has no answer, no counter for the style and the skill set of Terence Crawford. None. He told you that. That no matter how hard I trained, no matter what moves I made and adjustments I made, I had no answer for Terence Crawford. Simply put, none. And that's when he made the viral quote that Terence Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather, right? He don't want a rematch. He was contemplating the possibility of retiring, right? Canelo Alvarez was. He's like, in his brain, he's like, I might call it quits. I might not even box anymore, let alone rematch.
Most shocking part of this saga. The reaction from boxing experts, because instead of hype, the sentiment is overwhelmingly negative. Many insiders are calling a Canelo rematch a suicide mission. The first fight wasn't a robbery. It was a masterclass, with Crawford not just outpointing Canelo, but breaking him in the later rounds. Even legends like Roy Jones Jr. say Crawford should move on and chase titles in other weight classes to build his legacy. When your own peers are basically telling your opponent, don't bother, he's no challenge, that's a brutal reality check for Canelo.